Hello, kids. It's a mama day. Also, the first time in decades I almost broke out in a full sweat. So, Jesus, I might be working on becoming normal. But not too normal. I think that'd scare people even more. And yes, I'm wearing comfortable clothes. If it gets your nads going, see a therapist. Yesterday, my friend Carmen accompanied me to the Rockville Psychiatric Hospital Asylum. Everyone goes there for paranormal experience. I went there to put the frightened boy inside at some peace. My missing second grade. I prepared myself spiritually in my own way. Sunday I went to Mass and Communion. I even walked up to take communion. Then I went to the forum afterwards. Well, I opened my mouth. Poor Reverend Greg. I probably scared the shite out of him, but when he gets to be my age, you learn how to hold your shite. It will be a multiple cigarette presentation. It's Mama. Where do I put this? In my hand. On the drive over to Rockville. It's a beautiful drive. Through some political territory I wouldn't want to have a flat tire or a breakdown. But even without GPS, I could feel within 3 miles of the place. We were getting close. And the little boy inside of me was getting nervous. And I let him, because we are one single unit. Wrap your heads around that. My past, our past, is one. And I bought the tickets to be able to go for a day trip. Otherwise, it's quite a bit of money. These people are calling all the time. Quite a bit of money to do the night tour. Sorry, everyone that's there is there during the daytime. Except the daytime is when the doctors, the nurses, and the staff were present. So, in the name, I went into the administration building and I demanded that all spirit doctor nurses, and staff report to the administration building and stay there until I released him. Oops, I forgot to release them. Oh well. Now both Carmen and I have strong faith, different labels, and a light. What I call the God particle inside. It's a tiny, tiny thing. But those in darkness find it and are drawn to it. I have no clue how I did that much walking. But I was never frightened. I did frighten a few people, though, because I was in sort of atypical Franciscan modest dress. Scared the shite out of a cleaning woman. She came in the corner and just about fell back. I looked at her and I said, "I'm not a ghost. I'm alive, nun." And Carmen and I got separated, and should ask some of the other people wandering around on a day pass, real people, if they'd seen a nun. And they'd all get this strange look. And she'd have to say, "No, a real nun." I offered that, during the busy season, I could be hard to dress in an all-black habit with my sheer, long, flowing black veil and appear. Well, the hospital where I had received all my treatments from, or the building in the complex, had been torn down, which I truly hated. Took them 3 weeks to tear that building down, but was able to walk the foundation, and Carmen found me a piece of yellow glazed brick that had been that building. A funny thing I was told when the person that purchased that property called the Indiana Medical Records part of the government, because they had tens of thousands of records and notes. What did the state tell them to do? Destroy them. And I'm hoping that the person's acquisition of the property was after the yellow glazed brick hospital part had been destroyed. And maybe I can find those records. Well, between the two places, the state of Indiana owes me a bit of coin for being their experimental rat twice. And they failed. They tried to take a lot from me. For it being surrounded by woods on a hilltop, very beautiful, it was silent. No birds, no squirrels, except for the vultures. They kept circling around us. I had to laugh. We sat down to have a cigarette on a bench outside of one of the buildings, and two turkey buzzards, vultures, flew over and rested on a support for the water tower. And they were looking at us as we looked at them, and the one stretched its wings. And there was this cool breeze coming up from the building's opening. Well, the temperature yesterday, there should not have been a cool breeze coming out of the building, but I took it as a welcoming sign. So we finished up our smokes and went in. It was one of the, I think, the newest building. It appeared to be kinder. In whatever way that was possible. Several floors to this unit. The Adam Bryant building. They had a canteen and some notes left by staff. I know staff way too well. I also know that when a person would arrive with a suitcase, the staff would go through them first, looking for contraband, and leave a resident with just a few clothing items. So many empty suitcases. Well, Carmen went off her way wandering, I went off my way wandering, and I wandered into one of the nurses' stations. And there were clipboards with doctors' names at the top. I don't know if it's the same now. The doctors that were doctors in their country that immigrated to the United States were not allowed to practice in a regular hospital, but they were required to do a residency in a hospital. So, a little loophole. They could practice medicine in a psychiatric hospital for their residency before, poof, being dispersed into the public. I'll not disclose any of the doctors' names, although there was a good German name on one of them. Read a few sheets that had patient medications. The nurse's station. One on every floor. Or was it one every 2 floors? I don't know. But in wandering the rooms, there was a room. Each room only had 2 beds in it. They weren't wards. They were shared rooms. And it was the most beautiful lilac lavender. There were windows on 3 sides. I felt very comfortable in that room. I believe that was the room as I was looking out the side window. A songbird came up to the window and sang and flew away. I never experienced any evil or confused minds, yes. And I think that they traveled a bit, both with Carmen and myself, because they could see our light. And we weren't there for a show. So, the little boy that was sent there, that I know at least they did the brain probe on, I have a spot on the back left side of my skull that is soft. And the area they would have used, using a fluoroscope, to go in and mess with, is between the hippocampus and the pituitary. If you didn't know, kids, it's the sex part of your brain. And gentlemen, well, that didn't work. So I did not get to enter into the hospital where I've been treated. I am disappointed that the records of so many people, as if they did not exist, were destroyed. There's an anger there. Today, my body is beyond sore. I used muscles I don't have control over, but they work. And it's Tuesday. And that's when I like to go to SOAR. S period O period A period R period. You can find them on Facebook. They work with animals, the homeless, and with throwaway animals. So today I was lucky enough to be with a lot of the geriatric crowd. It sort of made me feel at home. All of them are quite pleasant. There's a Labradoodle that still finds me way too strange. Whoops. Oh well. Likes to bark at me and run away. But then the little ones, and the old man with 4 legs. And there's an old female on the 2nd floor that's gone into heat. So all these old boys who haven't been fixed are like snorting around the yard going, oh my God, how many milk bones to get me up to the 2nd floor? Castrate your husbands after you're finished procreating, or at least, Otherwise, they'll be trying to climb stairs they can't. And even though it was a day I almost called off from going, I'm glad I went. The moments that I get to spend with them. I know what it feels like to go through shite in life, to be a throwaway. It fills my soul. And of course, I got to see Rue and Fleur. I think I'm imprinted on Rue. Watch them play. Be dogs? Oh my god. It's a simple thing. If you have an animal companion, you give them what they need. And quite honestly, they in turn will give you what you need. And I'll throw an Irish blessing on everyone that, well, I want to get a younger dog, so I'm going to get rid of the older dog. That's the problem in the United States. When people become old, disabled, or no longer useful, oh, it's probably better that we send mother to the home where she'll die quicker. Let that sink in. Well, I should let this rest and filter a bit. But I wanted all of my youngers to know the few of us that went through hell and back of all the different expressions are why you can walk out of your house being you. Well, blessings on y'all, and be kind.